Before we begin, a quick caveat, not the dramatic kind, the quiet kind, the kind that only makes sense later. Some of the things you're about to hear were never meant to feel shocking. They were meant to feel normal. So normal, in fact, that most of us never pause to question them. We simply live inside them, assume they are part of how the world works, and move on. Hi, this is Merlin, and you're watching her digital clone. Yes, my clone. Since this channel is all about making AI work for us in the most practical, powerful ways, I figured this was the perfect moment to let the technology do some of the heavy lifting. I used HeyGen to create this digital version of me so I can share ideas the moment they're ready, without waiting for cameras, lighting, or retakes. And what I want to share with you today is not a brand story. It's not a history lesson. It's not even a marketing case study. It's a behavioral blueprint. Because Coca-Cola did not become one of the most powerful companies in human history by selling a drink. Coca-Cola became powerful by learning how human behavior actually works, and then designing itself around that truth. At the start of the 20th century, Coca-Cola was irrelevant. In 1900, it sold just over 9,000 gallons a year. That number matters because it tells us something uncomfortable. Coke wasn't hated, it wasn't controversial, it wasn't rejected, it simply didn't matter. And irrelevance is the most dangerous place any idea, product, or brand can exist. So Coke didn't ask the question most companies ask. They didn't ask how to improve the formula. They didn't ask how to beat competitors on taste or price. They asked something far more dangerous and far more intelligent. How do human beings actually decide what they trust, repeat, and defend? What they discovered, long before neuroscience had names for it, is that we do not make decisions the way we think we do. We do not move through the world by comparing facts and choosing the best option. We move through the world by retrieving feelings, and feelings are built through repetition, context, and emotional safety. So Coca-Cola stopped teaching people what Coke was. They trained people how Coke feels. Over and over again, across decades, across continents, Coke appeared in the same emotional neighborhoods: warmth, friendship, celebration, relief after work, youth, togetherness, familiar faces, familiar places, familiar moments. Our brain does not store objects in isolation. Our brain stores experiences. And when an object consistently appears inside emotionally safe experiences, our brain stops categorizing it as an object. It starts retrieving it as a feeling. This is why Coke feels familiar before it feels logical. This is why people struggle to explain why they prefer it. This is why even blind taste tests don't fully override emotional preference. The decision is already made before logic arrives. Once Coke understood this, they went deeper. They didn't try to be remembered. They tried to become normal. They placed themselves inside birthdays, holidays, family rituals, summer afternoons, road trips, everyday pauses. Over time, Coke stopped being something you chose and started being something that simply belonged. And once something becomes part of emotional normal, removing it creates discomfort. That discomfort is what most people mistakenly call loyalty, but it isn't loyalty, it's emotional inertia. Then Coke did something even more profound. They entered childhood. In 1931, Coca-Cola reshaped Santa Claus into the red-suited, warm, generous figure we now treat as tradition. That wasn't branding. That was neurological placement. Coke entered the emotional wiring stage of life, when our sense of safety, celebration, warmth, and togetherness is being formed. Before buying behavior existed, familiarity was already installed. By the time people were old enough to make choices, Coke didn't feel like a brand. It felt like part of life. Then came war. And this is where trust was permanently sealed. During World War II, Coca-Cola negotiated with the US government to place bottling plants near military bases across the world so soldiers could buy Coke at the same price wherever they were stationed. In moments of fear, fatigue, separation, and uncertainty, Coke became familiar. Familiar became safe. Safe became trusted. Trust was not claimed, it was installed. And once trust is installed at the emotional level, rational evaluation becomes optional. From there, Coke stopped being a drink entirely. It became identity. Who you were in a moment, relaxed, connected, normal, accepted, social, human. People weren't buying soda, they were buying a temporary version of themselves that felt okay. Repeated exposure across emotional contexts engineered familiarity bias. Familiar things feel safer, safer things feel right. Switching away didn't feel logical, it felt wrong. This reduced resistance without discounts, persuasion, or argument. Then Coke played a longer game than almost any company before it. They didn't chase short-term conversions. They invested in long-horizon emotional memory loops. Decade after decade, the same feelings, the same cues, the same associations. This is why Coke feels timeless rather than trendy. Trendy brands burn fast. Conditioned brands endure. Only after desire was emotionally installed did Coke scale distribution aggressively. This reversed the traditional funnel. They didn't push availability and hope people cared. They made people care first. Distribution simply harvested demand that already existed inside people. This allowed Coke to own emotional territory rather than shelf space. Competitors could match price, they could match taste, they could not displace meaning. Emotional real estate is harder to attack than physical territory. Coke then tied itself to routines and rituals, meals, breaks, gatherings, celebrations. Repetition formed habit loops. Habit memory replaced conscious choice. And once habits stabilize, behavior becomes predictable. Predictability is power. Predictability creates pricing leverage. Predictability creates forecasting accuracy. Predictability creates long-term revenue stability. This is the same logic modern platforms run on. Streaming, social media, devices, ecosystems. They are not selling features, they are installing defaults. And then Coke did something even bigger than selling soda. They shaped culture. Drinks at dinners, drinks at parties, drinks at holidays, drinks as symbols of togetherness. Coke didn't follow culture. It quietly defined what normal life looks like and then lived inside it. This is not advertising, this is behavioral architecture. And this is where the AI era changes everything. Because AI doesn't just scale content, it scales conditioning, it scales repetition, it scales emotional consistency. It allows individuals, not just corporations, to build familiarity, trust, and identity at speed. The same behavioral principles Coke used over a century can now be applied by creators, founders, educators, and thinkers ethically to build movements, not manipulation. Once you understand this system, you regain agency. You stop being confused by your own habits. You pause before buying. You ask what you're actually trying to feel. And when you build with intention instead of noise. That pause is power. That awareness is leverage. This is Merlin, or today, my digital clone. And if you want more deeply researched breakdowns that help you grow your brand, your business, and your creative impact in the AI era, make sure you stay connected. And if you want to work with me directly, you can book a call via the top mate link in the description. This story doesn't end here. It only opens the door. The future belongs to those who understand behavior. And now, because of AI, that future is closer than ever. I'll see you in the next one.